Empathy is a real buzzword today. What does it mean, and why is it an important communication skill to develop? Empathy is being aware of the feelings and emotions of other people. To put it simply, it involves putting ourselves in the other person's shoes. Empathy plays a big role in one's emotional intelligence. We as individuals have the capacity to understand what others are feeling. The degree to which we are able to do this depends on our level of emotional intelligence. The terms empathy and sympathy are often used interchangeably. However, this is incorrect. Although both words focus on feelings and experiences, they mean different things. Empathy involves experiencing the feelings and thoughts of others in an objective and clear manner. It's the ability to feel what someone else is feeling and to be able to understand their thought process by putting their mental state before your own. Sympathy, on the other hand, is to feel sorry for another person and stems from concern. When you sympathize with someone, you identify the reasons behind why you feel bad. Being sympathetic goes beyond just feeling pity for someone, but genuinely caring about their well-being. Now, something that people don't realize is that empathy is being able to put yourself in someone's position and to personally identify with them. It involves shared emotions or perspectives, which sympathy does not. This is why it is difficult to feel empathy sometimes. For example, if a friend loses their job, you will definitely feel sorry for them, therefore sympathy. But if you've never lost a job, it's hard to relate personally and display true empathy. Empathy plays a vital role in communication. Without a doubt, empathy enhances your interpersonal skills. Empathy helps us to communicate more clearly and present ideas in a way that others are able to understand them better. Likewise, empathy enhances our listening skills and the ability to comprehend others, including ourselves. If you are empathetic, you are able to connect with others on an emotional level, be more perceptive to their thoughts and feelings, and will gain trust and respect more easily. Empathy also allows us to be more sensitive and receptive to nonverbal communication. All of this leads to the communication process becoming much smoother. Empathy decreases the chances of miscommunication and conflict and equips you to resolve any misunderstandings more effectively. Now that we've seen the clear benefits of communicating with empathy, how can we get better at doing so? Do you remember the communication loop? Let's use the same framework and see how and where we can incorporate empathy during different stages of the process. As a sender, it's your job to decide on the message you wish to convey, to encode the message, and choose the right channel of communication. Say you're a marketing manager and Sheila is a researcher who reports to you. She is bright and hardworking, but has been underperforming recently. It is now affecting the whole team as she doesn't meet deadlines. Your boss tells you to fire her on the spot, but you would really like to give her another chance and a warning. Now, how can you get this message across clearly, yet empathetically? Your message must be relevant and easily understood. If you want to give Sheila another chance, you must explain why you're dissatisfied by giving relevant examples of her behavior and its impact. Explain that you are willing to give her another chance, but she will need to meet expectations. Now, before you speak to her, put yourself on the receiving end and watch your tone. How would you like to be spoken to if roles were reversed? Instead of rushing straight to the point, which may catch Sheila off guard and upset her, it would be better to start by asking her how she is coping with work and perhaps how things are at home. This gives Sheila an immediate opening to explain her behavior if she wishes to, which could then turn a difficult conversation into a very natural one. Once you have a message, it's important to choose the right channel for message transmission. The message for Sheila is sensitive and serious in nature. Therefore, it would be much better to have a conversation in person than to do it over email or on the phone. By meeting Sheila personally, you will be able to get a much better sense of what's going on. In order to be empathetic, a receiver must be an active listener. Let's remind ourselves of the components of active listening. Active listeners provide undivided attention without distractions. They resist the temptation to interrupt, put aside their viewpoints in favor of the speaker's perspective, and withhold judgment until the speaker has finished. Especially when addressing sensitive or difficult topics, it's important to listen very carefully. Listen with your eyes, ears, and intuition. Imagine Sheila is the speaker and she is opening up to you. As an empathetic receiver, ask yourself the following. What is Sheila saying and doing? What is she thinking and how do you think she feels? Can you sense that she is not forthcoming about something that is going on? A person's speech and actions can be observed, but to get an understanding of their thought process and feelings, you must tap into your emotional intelligence and use empathy. Once you have given Sheila a chance to express herself and try to see things from her perspective, respond appropriately. Perhaps Sheila's mother is very unwell, and Sheila constantly worries that her mother is home alone. She can't afford to lose her job because her mother's health has already put a lot of strain on the family's finances. You have observed that Sheila seems sincere and distraught. Now, what are some appropriate responses given the circumstances? Express how sorry you are to hear this and acknowledge how difficult this must be for Sheila and for her family. Ask her if there is anything that the company can do to help her. Also, do let her know that it's important to bring such serious situations to the attention of your manager. Suggest that she take some time off to look after her mother, or if feasible, offer for her to work from home if that would put her mind to ease. Now, in all of this, you must also remember to maintain professional boundaries. After all, this is a job, and there are certain limitations and protocol to follow. Many others go through difficult times too, and there are certain standards to be maintained. However, now that you are aware of Sheila's situation, do what is in your control to help her. What does this interaction tell us? Had you as a manager not been an empathetic speaker or receiver, the story could have turned out very differently. You may have followed your boss's advice and fired Sheila without giving her a chance to explain. If you did confront her and she didn't open up right away, without using empathy and picking up on her body language, you may have put this down to a lack of interest or poor attitude. You could have easily lost a valuable member of your team. Do you see the difference empathy makes? Of late, empathy has been dubbed the #1 soft skill to develop. Developing an empathetic approach will help you to vastly improve your people skills. When you are able to understand others, they will most likely understand you. This is the start of building collaboration and cooperation, the foundations for effective teamwork. Among much more, empathy will lead to a better working environment, better relationships and trust amongst co-workers, smooth and transparent communication, and increased productivity. If you are empathetic, you will always treat others the way you would like to be treated. Empathy and sympathy are different. Empathy means to feel what another person is feeling, whereas sympathy is to feel sorry for them. To develop empathy, we should hone our emotional intelligence. We should pay close attention to what people say and do, and try to infer what they may be thinking and how they may be feeling. Active listening is crucial to being empathetic. Empathy is one of the most important communication skills and will lead to great personal and professional success.